Hey everyone, glad to have you back on the channel. Today I came across a heated debate between PBD and Reza Aslan regarding Iran, and wow, it's quite the spectacle. PBD is up to his usual antics, trying to corner people into making extreme choices and then gets all flustered when they don't fall for it. You know his routine of putting words in people's mouths? Yeah, that's happening here in full force. Anyway, let me know where you're tuning in from in the comments. Smash that like button if you're here for the political drama, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Let's dive straight into this chaos.
They support the nuclear deal, which you support as well.
100% support the nuclear deal.
So you support negotiating with a nation that says "Marg bar America," death upon America. You're comfortable negotiating with a country that hates us.
I'm sorry. Who do we negotiate? We only negotiate with countries that love us? Is that how negotiations work? Have you heard of the phrase diplomacy?
All right, so PBD is stirring up some drama here, attempting to coerce Reza Aslan into a bizarre game of picking his preferred Iranian dictator. When Aslan refuses to side with either the Shah or Khomeini, PBD freaks out. You can't just say neither, he insists. Let's be real, though. PBD is attributing statements to Aslan that he never made. Aslan clearly stated, "We just swapped one brutal regime for another. How much more straightforward can you get?" Then PBD chimes in with, "So you're suggesting the Shah was more advantageous for the people?" And Aslan's response is a firm, "No, that's not my point." It's a typical tactic, distort someone's words and argue against a claim they never proposed. This seems like a common strategy these days. If you can't extract the soundbite you're after, just keep pressing until you can misrepresent what they said. PBD is pulling the classic, so you're saying maneuver, where you take someone's nuanced stance and twist it into an outrageous statement they never made. PBD also throws in some irrelevant stuff about not having visited Iran since 2005. That's just a way to distract from the real debate about the nuclear deal. It becomes about questioning someone's cultural authenticity instead. Seriously weak. Aslan is there trying to engage in a meaningful discussion about the intricacies of geopolitics, while PBD wants to reduce it to a simple dictator good or dictator bad, as if it's a Twitter poll.
The question I'm asking is,
literally said
what
to
is
you,
more beneficial? You can't say neither, though.
You are telling me which murderous regime would you prefer? The murderous regime of the Shah or the murderous regime of the Ayatollah?
You cannot be that naive, though. You cannot be that naive. Listen, if you take it from that route, the Reza Shah Pahlavi, okay, and Iran, where they were, which, by the way, for me, an imperialist model.
Are you a Pahlavist?
I'm not an imperialist. My model would be more what we have in America. What I'm asking you, a simple question you can't answer. During Khomeini, millions of people died from other countries. Other innocent people died because of Khomeini's policies and his regime. This is not Reza Pahlavi's other people died because of his regime. You can't give that argument.
Okay.
For you to say that I'm going to choose both the same.
If what you want to do is a fun intellectual exercise in which you are saying, gun to my head, I can only pick the murderous regime of the Shah or the murderous regime of the Ayatollahs.
It's too different.
Which one would you want?
You cannot say
I would say the murderous regime of the Shah.
Okay, so then...
Because you got a gun to my head.
Not because I got a gun to your head. Because logically it makes sense to say right after Khomeini, you're probably not leaving Iran if Shah was still in Iran. Or not being in Iran, you probably would, and I would probably,
and I'd be probably miserable.
I
wouldn't have rights.
I don't think so. I disagree. You would have chosen to leave to another country. You would have chosen to come to.
I think you've got a nostalgia for the days of the Shah.
I don't have a nostalgia.
Me a lot of like Make America Great Again. But no, what you're saying is, can we pursue policies in the United States to help the people of Iran? And have we been? My answer is we have not been. We have not. 40 years of blanket sanctions has not helped the people of Iran. It has only entrenched the government further. And there's reams of academic data that indicates that. The question is, does the, for instance, nuclear deal, the JCPOA in 2012, would that have helped the government or the people? And there is very good, real, meaningful arguments to be made that it would only help the government. I disagree, because there are much better arguments that it would only help people. Why? Goes back to your God, capitalism, the free market. The Iranian people live in an oppressive, murderous, theocratic regime. And as a part of American policy, we have decided that we're going to blanket sanction everyone in the hopes that eventually they'll rise up and take down their government.
No.
4 decades. 4 decades we've been doing that. Now, instead, the argument of the JCPOA was very simple. A, we get to get rid of Iran's nuclear capabilities without launching a war.
By giving them $150 billion.
Without, again, I want to make sure that you understand that this isn't my 150 million or your 150 million. That's the only reason I said.
It doesn't matter. You're strengthening them.
What you are doing.
You're strengthening their government.
It's not about the money that you give them.
It doesn't
get
to the people.
Liberalization.
You cannot be that naive to think the money goes to the people.
I'm not talking about the money going to the people. What I am talking about is the policies that arise from the JCPOA, which requires the liberalization of Iran's economy. What the Iranian people need.
It's not going to happen.
What the Iranian people need in order to actually succeed in bringing down their government is access to the free market, is access to the rest of the world.
By giving money to the government?
You are conflating two different things.
I'm not,
Listen to me. I'm not saying that the money in exchange for the nuclear weapons is what is going to free Iran. I am saying that the policies pursued by the JCPOA have, on top of it, the goal of economic liberalization in Iran, which is why I argued 10 years ago that Iran should be allowed into the World Trade Organization, because then it would have to actually pursue policies that require economic liberalization. You
can't negotiate with unreasonable people. It's impossible to negotiate with unreasonable people.
Do you know how much shit we send to North Korea right now? Do you know how many billions of dollars in aid we send to North Korea? Is there anyone more unreasonable than Kim Jong-un? That's who we negotiate with, is unreasonable people. Because the other option with unreasonable people is you just bomb the shit out of them.
Wow, Reza Aslan just blindsided PBD with the harshest reality check imaginable. PBD's mind is pretty much malfunctioning right now. He's ranting about how you can't deal with irrational people, and Aslan interrupts him. Wait a second. Do you even realize how much aid we send to North Korea? Can anyone be more irrational than Kim Jong-un? You can almost hear PBD's argument crumbling in real time. It's hilarious because PBD is known for being this savvy business guru who can broker deals with anyone, right? But then suddenly, when it's Iran, negotiating equates to weakness. It's completely illogical. Then Aslan gives him a mini lesson in economics. The JCPOA isn't about just giving cash to the mullahs, it's about encouraging economic reforms that provide Iranians access to global markets. That's literally PBD's go-to capitalism argument deployed against him. And PBD's just sputtering, but you're empowering the government. He's totally missed the point. To me, this is what happens when your foreign policy is based on Twitter instead of a genuine understanding of regime change. The most amusing part? PBD probably spent ages applauding Trump for engaging with Rocket. Man, but now he's acting like any talks with Iran are a betrayal. The contradictions are just hilariously spot on. Aslan's essentially giving him an intro lesson in capitalism, but PBD is too riled up to pay attention.
Don't put, I know you're a hardcore capitalist. As a capitalist yourself, don't confuse the two, okay, with a Judeo-Christian nation that we're talking about here. I'm not talking about North Korea here. I'm talking specifically to Iran. If you go back and you think about during the Shah era, when that place is safe, everybody around them felt safe. Nobody around Iran feels safe right now.
Nobody in Iran felt safe in the Shah's
Of course they did. Of course, it's called
Maybe
great power.
Maybe you and your family did.
Yours did as well. What are you talking about? Your example is the perfect one. The moment Shah left, your dad as a communist left. What are you talking about?
My father didn't feel safe in
Then why
Iran?
didn't he leave under the Shah? Why did he leave right Khomeini came in? You realize how much hypocrisy there is for that. There's contradiction to that.
But let me. A lot of the things that I understood about you, I never honestly thought that you were going to sit here and actually defend the fucking Shah.
Are you kidding me? You're defending Khomeini. You're defending Iran. You're defending all the people that died.
Have I defended Khomeini?
You chose 50-50.
Hold on. Has anyone here actually heard me
indirectly
defend Khomeini?
You are. Indirectly you are. When I asked you between the Shah and the Khomeini, you said it's neither. What are you talking? You're saying Khomeini and Shah are the same? You have to be naive to say that.
I didn't say they were the same. What I said was,
but your family, to be fair, your family,
both murderous regimes.
Oh my goodness. PBD is at it once more. He's putting words into Aslan's mouth that were never spoken. Aslan distinctly stated, I didn't say they were identical. I said they both have a murderous nature. Yet here is PBD, out of nowhere, claiming that Aslan supports the Shah and Iran. Seriously, where does he get this stuff? It's PBD's signature move. When someone gives a well-thought-out answer, pretend they offered an extreme one instead. Just because Aslan refuses to choose between two tyrants doesn't mean he's backing both of them. Logic doesn't function that way. And notice how PBD constantly drags Aslan's family history with Khomeini's regime into the conversation, making it personal instead of focusing on the actual issues. Classic diversion tactic. When you can't win on facts, switch the discussion to personal territory. To me, it's like asking if someone prefers being punched or kicked, and when they say neither, accusing them of loving violence. It's completely irrational. Here's something to ponder. Does PBD truly believe his own made-up arguments? Or is he aware of the distortion and just indifferent? This pattern is so typical of him, if someone won't give him the dramatic quote he craves, he fabricates one and then debates that instead. What do you guys think? Is this his genuine debate strategy, or is he simply terrible at listening? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you like seeing me dissect these debate tactics, hit that like button and subscribe. Catch you in the next one.